Okay, so today we have the Stewards of Profession. This is the PowerPoint I'll be going over, and this is unclassified for class 003-21, BLC. My name is Specialist Verdati, first name Thomas, and this is a presentation I'll be giving you. What does it mean to be a steward within the Army profession? So what do you think a steward is? Who do you think a steward can be? Right now, we're in a classroom environment. The risk assessment is below. Agenda. Today I'll be giving you guys the introduction, the stewardship of a profession, maintaining professionalism. We'll be talking about characteristics within being a steward, and a conclusion, and after we'll conduct the AR. You guys could ask whatever questions you guys need to ask. Introduction. As soldiers, you must maintain the standard and represent the Army profession. So what does it mean to maintain the standard? What do you have to do to maintain your professionalism? So you want to be able to represent yourself in a good way. You don't want to have any negative connotation going towards that. Soldiers will earn the respect and trust of their leaders and subordinates, as well as the American people. So you want to ensure that the American people trust you, your higher ups trust you, and other subordinates such as yourself can trust you. You want to build that trust and maintain that trust within each other, and be able to simply acknowledge one another and kind of tell each other certain things and just have a good work environment. Leaders will set the standard and uphold the subordinates to do as well. So with your leaders being your leaders, they're going to teach you a lot. They're going to be able to help you in certain ways that you as a subordinate might not be able to be learning. Maybe you don't know something, and your higher ups can kind of lead you in the right direction, whether it be outside the military or within your military career. Stewardship of the profession. Stewardship represents the Army leaders and what they do to ensure the professionalism continues. So your leaders are going to simply ensure that you're doing the best that you can do to be great at your job, both mentally and physically, because that's what the Army is going to ask of you. The Army profession is there to make sure the soldiers are always improving and building up to the next generation of soldiers. So what that means is that you want to become a leader as a subordinate and teach other subordinates how to do their job, how to be proficient in what it is, whatever they do, whether it be a 92 Yankee, 88 Mike, or a 42 Alpha, whatever it is that you have to do, you want to be able to succeed it in the best way possible. Leaders have responsibility to maintain the stewardship and lead by example. So an example would be me. Say I'm a leader and I have a soldier under me. I want to have the ability to tell them what's right from wrong. So if I'm doing something wrong, that's going to show the soldier that, hey, the leader is doing this as well, so I can do something wrong as well. And that's something we don't want within the Army. That's something that a steward does not have as a characteristic. Characteristics. Military expertise. So knowing your job, like I was explaining before, 42 Alpha, they have a lot of paperwork to do. They have to sit behind a desk, or anything that a 42 Alpha has to do when it comes to filling out leave paperwork or anything. They just want to make sure that they get that done and they do it correctly, because someone's depending on them to get their leave in and do everything right. Honorable service, commitment to the job. So you want to be committed to your job. You want to do things correctly and not let the American people down or your higher ups down by saying that you can't do something. Trust. Give trust and get trust to grow. So by giving trust and getting trust, you can simply trust your soldier or trust your higher ups to know that they're telling you what to do is right, and telling you to do your job correctly and effectively for the military, and to uphold the military standards or the Army standards. Esprit de corps, motivation to help one another. You want to be able to motivate one of your battle buddies and make sure they're getting their job done, And maybe it may not be within the military workforce, but it can be school outside within civilian work. Kind of encourage them to go to school or go to ranger school if it's military. Anything of that sort. Stewardship, maintain professionalism. So that's the big one. You have to maintain professionalism. You have to present yourself as you would in the best way possible, especially when you're in this uniform or in any type of military uniform. You want to show them that you're part of something bigger than yourself. So you don't want to go out and get drunk and plastered and then end up getting in trouble, because that's something that represents the military. You're part of something bigger than yourself. You have to be very aware of what's going on and what you're doing. Building trust for stewardship. So you have the Army values, the characteristics, the warrior's ethos, and trust. Those are very big things that play into being a stewardship or to being a steward. You want to maintain your professionalism. Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Those are all things that play into being a steward. And leaders must shape their subordinates. So you want your leaders to be able to shape you into the person you want to be, whether that be a greater person for the military or outside the military. You want to make sure you're getting everything that you can out of your leader, because you want to be led by example. Create a well-rounded environment. So make sure within the workforce you're kind of getting along with everyone that you're working with. You don't have to be best friends with everyone, but at least know that you can go to them for work situations. Reflect on organization's needs. So you want to reflect on your organization's needs by make sure you know your priorities within the organization. Make sure you have everything that you need, and whatever is asked of the commander or anyone else, whatever the mission requires is something that you want to get done. So summary: all ranks within the military must maintain professionalism to keep the stewardship. So it doesn't matter if you're at E5, E6, E7, higher up, you want to maintain that professionalism and just acknowledge that you can learn from your subordinates as well as you can learn from your leaders. Must ensure next generation is upholding the standards. So you want to ensure that the next generation of soldiers that comes in straight out of basic, that they're trustworthy, they're loyalty, they're being a steward, they have all these characteristics of someone that wants to do their job, someone that's really good at their job, and just maintain that throughout your military career. Lead by example. Stewardship starts from the top down, leading by example. So the higher ups, or the E6s, E7s, are what teaches the subordinates. They teach, the sergeant, the specialist, the PFC. They teach all of us what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, and make sure it's done correctly. And that concludes what it is to be a steward. So our AAR today, what happened, what did happen, and what does stewardship mean to you? What does this mean? How can you become a steward? Okay, that concludes our presentation.